think everybody's back. We'll try and reconvene so we can get to the next case at hand. Okay, thank you. Next case is SYCB 190013. This is for 5-Star Equity Investors on Cougar Mill Road. This is for conditional use. Harry, could you introduce us?
Okay, so this is case number SYCB 190013. The addresses are as follows: 6100 Cougar Mill Road, 6331 Cougar Mill Road, 6341 Cougar Mill Road, 6491 and 655 on Cougar Mill Road. The request for conditional use, church. The applicant is 5-Star Equity Investors LLC. Now, I added something in here regarding the partial pins because not everything has an address. So, and I had that on the staff report too. So 600-9401, 694-2, 692-46, 692-298, 692-45, and 692-48. Those are all partial ID numbers. The current zoning is B, single-family residential. The zoning compliance issues are conditional use application, churches, actually a church in the residential district. The request, the applicant is requesting to construct a 22,500 square foot church, maximum 35-foot mean roof height, supporting parking and infrastructure on 3.187 acres. So, outline here, I've got a Google map basically just showing a bird's eye view of the surrounding properties. To the west, we have double D multifamily. The property we're looking at is B single family. To the south, we have a double O planned office district. To the west, we have B. Also to the north, we have B. We also have a conditional use church up here that is also zoned B. This is just a larger view. Basically, just show you these are the parcels that would be included. So 6100 Cougar Mill, basically just a vacant lot at this point. 6331 Cougar Mill, 6341 Cougar Mill, 6491 Cougar Mill, and 6551 Cougar Mill. If the board is going to slow down or give you more time to review the slides, just give me a holler and I'll be happy to slow down. Okay, here's what was submitted by the applicant. Basically, there would be a lot consolidation for all those parcels that I just indicated as far as creating one large parcel. In this case, the proposal, like I mentioned before, is a church with infrastructure. This layout basically shows the parking, shows 2 curb cuts out on the Cougar Mill Road, shows some of the adjoining property owners. Also, and here's, in conversation with the applicant, because there were some questions regarding if this applicant provided enough documentation. And here's what we came up with. As long as they provide or answer the questions that are proposed in the zoning resolution, they could do that in text format. They could do that also in drawing format. So for example, in this case, the dumpster enclosure is actually an architectural drawing that clearly indicates the construction, the material, the screening, the height, and so on. So they've answered the question regarding a dumpster enclosure in drawing format. As far as the other items, and there's several other items that they've listed here, and the board does have a copy of the layout. They've answered additional questions here in text format. We have allowed applicants in the future, and we'll allow applicants we've allowed answer the questions that are in the zoning resolution, if they comply with them, what format work. So in this case, township does feel that they had an application that could be accepted for conditional use application. So, here's another example of how they provide information regarding the landscaping. So, they are providing a streetscape buffer, a boundary buffer, additional, since there is already a boundary buffer here, the applicant is planning on using part of that in addition to providing interior landscaping to basically break up the parking area. They've also provided additional landscaping in front of the parking area to buffer that from Kugler Mill Road. As far as the requirements of the zoning resolution, they have answered those questions in regard to the minimum calibers of the trees, heights, the size of what's being provided at the time of planting if approved. A big concern, obviously, with any type of development going in is the lighting, especially when you have parking. They've met the 0-foot candle requirements based on this layout here, facing the residential properties. They have 12-foot tall light fixtures on a 2-foot tall base. Some of the things I also wanted to point out to this board, there's a specific reason that churches and schools are in our communities. And it started early on in regards to, that's what people want. People want to be able to go to church in the neighborhood. They want to be able to walk to school. In this case, Deer Park is nothing but walking. They have very few passengers that ride the bus to get to school. With churches, you can see this is one church. It's actually in Sycamore Township. As you can tell, it is in a neighborhood. This one's right down the road from us. It's surrounded by residents on, actually 4 sides. This is Kenwood Road. There's a community over here. There's a community to the north, south, east, and west. This is another church. This is actually on the Kugler Mill. This is right across the street from where this proposal is. This was a case where it was a church that was approved years and years ago. This went through some use challenges, and now it's back to being a church again. More towards the western part of Sycamore Township, towards like Wexford and Dillon, the shopping center. Again, we have a church that's located in our residential districts. That's all I have. Also, just for clarity, I want to make sure the board did receive the staff reports. There's a lot of information that pertaining to conditional use, the approval of conditional use, the requirements of conditional use, and how they should be reviewed. And I think the applicant provided the same type of review that staff would have provided in regards to starting with chapter 3, continuing on with a review of this project from chapter 15, and then also looking at chapter 17 as far as the conditional use requirements specifically to churches.
Now, can I ask you, there are certain things that we have authority over as the zoning board, but even if we were to hypothetically approve the plan, they still have a number of other hurdles they have to get over with other county agencies, right? The engineer and other county agencies, that, like the curb cut, that's not within our jurisdictions.
Correct. If, and let me just go back a couple of slides to kind of address this. That's important to realize. So, like you said, Kugler Mill is a county road. So the county engineer will get involved as far as the curb cuts. If there is a traffic concern, that's the county engineer's job, that's not this board's job. Now, the board can look at that as an additional item if this development is to be approved or denied. But that's not this board's decision. It's the Hampton County engineer's decision. They will have input regarding any type of traffic concern.
So if we hypothetically approve the plan, the county engineer could still deny the curb cuts and not leave them with a church with no entrance to it, right?
Correct. The other thing that falls under the county is any type of retention or detention regarding this development. As with any new development, there's guidelines, requirements regarding quality of water and quantity of water. You have EPA guidelines, you have the Clean Water Act. None of those things existed before the 70s/80s. So now any type of development that comes in has to meet those standards also.
And none of that is within our purview, right?
It is not.
So I know there were a lot of, a number of letters and complaints about concerns addressing some of these things that really weren't in our power to address.
Correct. The BZA is like most of our boards. It's a great board, it gives us local representation. You get to decide with the code, obviously, which is given to me by the trustees, on how we look at spaces. The requirements of what you can and cannot do. For example, we can require landscaping, we can require a streetscape buffer. We can say, based on the net square footage of this building, they're required to have so many parking spaces. They've met that requirement. Based on the number of parking spaces, we can say they need so many trees and shrubs. They've also met that requirement. So while as a township, we can have all these things in place, and have the applicant meet those requirements. It's when they don't meet those requirements that then is at the discretion of the board to either grant relief or deny the request.
Let me ask you another question. This is a proposed spec building in a sense. They're gonna go to church, but they don't have a tenant yet. Do we have any history of approving spec buildings in the past where there was proposed buildings with no definite tenant plan? And then even here, I think we have some things that aren't totally complete, that it's left unknown as to what they're gonna do. Have we faced this, I mean, since I've been here, I don't remember it, but have we faced an issue before where there, I call it a spec building, that's not, maybe Mr. Teckley will call it something else, but have we faced that issue before?
I would say almost every commercial building that is proposed for the township does not have it. Now, the banks
That's
have,
commercial, that's different.
the banks have stiffened up that requirement as far as lending practices, where they're saying, okay, we need at least 50% lease.
Yeah, the
And then
banks-
you have that tenant that goes in with that space.
Yeah, they require some amount, some percentage of pre-leasing before they'll, but this isn't a commercial building, it's a church. We've never had this with a church before, ever.
We have not.
Okay, not to say we're rule on another,
And
something different.
why is this not a zoning issue? Why does this not fall into the zoning board?
Oh, for churches,
Please, so we can hear.
they fall under the conditional use review, up to a certain ISR, impervious surface ratio. If they are 0.45 and below, it goes to the BZA. If it's 0.45 and above, it can either go zoning commission or zoning commission board of trustees. In this case, it's all based on that ISR, which all of our big projects that come through here, most of them have exceeded that, what I call threshold. Well, this one's actually below the threshold, so we have a 0.45 threshold. I think the proposed is like 0.43 that's in front of this board, so it goes to the BZA. Does that answer your question? It's all based on that ISR number and how our zoning resolution addresses conditional use for churches. And it's very specific. It says church, low intensity, medium intensity, high intensity, and based on those numbers, it tells me where that applicant's going to go.
And just to follow up on that, my understanding, I think it was from the staff report or somewhere else, they had previously applied for a zone change to do something else, hadn't they? And that was denied. Am I right on that, or?
That has nothing to do with this application. This-
Well, I understand, I'm just
Please.
asking for,
Please.
just want to get some historical background. They did apply for a zone change previously, it was denied, correct?
For this property.
For this subject
series of
property.
properties, they did,
Okay,
they being the owner, did apply for a zone change.
okay, the same owner that is applying now for this conditional use.
Correct.
Okay. I mean, that's perfectly allowed to do that, I just want to establish some
Well,
historical background on
I'll
it.
give you another example. We had a development up on Montgomery Road across from the Mercedes-Benz. There was a proposal that was put on there and was approved. It never got built because it went through the 2007, 2008 timeline, and there was a lot of challenges. Since then, there's been a lot of separate proposals for each one of those parcels now, and now it's been redeveloped. Well, similar to this was proposed for an extension of the tri-health development. They decided to withdraw that application, and now they have an application for a conditional use church application.
So it's not totally unusual to have a zone change denied and then an application for something else. As you said, you've had that for the Mercedes case.
We've had it on several cases, yes. I mean, if somebody buys a piece of property, whether that somebody is a property owner, a commercial property owner or residential property owner, they may try to put a building on it, it gets denied, they may try another use. It happens all the time, not just in Sycamore Township. Any city, any other community, there's other cases out there similar.
Why would you be concerned with the traffic that would flow in and out of a two-lane road? I mean, I know you gave us the curb cuts and everything else, but it's still a two-lane road. You know, say the church across the street lets out at 11 o'clock and this church at 11, then that's something we should be aware of.
That's not for this board to decide, that's for the county engineer to decide. Now, this board can take that into consideration if it was to deny this project or approve the project. There could always be conditions set in place regarding the Hampton County Engineer's Office. But to solely base a decision on traffic is not for this board to dictate.
Any other questions for Harry? Okay, I guess at this point, I'd like to have the applicant come forward and speak to us.
Sorry to keep you waiting, I thought that last case would go quicker than it did.
No, that's fine, I was just, had my legs crossed, my foot fell asleep, so I'm fine. Michael Kubicki, 8455 Kugler Mill Road. I've been with Five Star Equity Investors, and we're asking, for your consideration of the proposal. I've got a contact with our attorney right here, if there's any questions about the legal, from our standpoint, and our architect, Randy Merrill, will be making the presentation for us. But I did just want to make a couple things clear. First of all, we're not asking you to approve a speculative project. We're asking you to approve this church right here. We have had discussions specifically with a church who is interested. We have a backup church who has expressed an interest in being here. So, as far as, did we go through a rezoning process? Yes, we did. We tried to negotiate with the neighbors, and we had indicated at that time that, we'd like to go build an office building. They didn't think it was appropriate, and, so yes, this is our plan B. So that's where we're at, that's how we got here. And I'll let Randy make the presentation if you have any questions.
I guess the thing that hit me when I first saw this was, you're building a church without the definite tenant. And, we don't have any authority over who the tenant will be, whether it be a Lutheran or a Catholic or a Muslim or a Jewish. I mean, we don't, but we like to approve things that we know what's gonna be there, who's gonna be there. I think that's some of our concern.
Yep.
And here, where we're kind of somewhat vague about when you're gonna start, when you're gonna finish, what exactly it's gonna look like, and who the tenant is gonna be. These are all sort of unknowns that, I think, I'm grappling with. I don't know about the other board members, but Any response to that?
Okay, we're not gonna build an empty church, and, you know, as I said, church businesses are an interesting business, you know, there's a fundraising aspect that goes to it. One of the churches is looking to get, you know, some sort of a grant, I don't know if it's a public or private grant, but, we need to be able to show that we can produce the property. It's difficult for them to go out and raise the money without saying that they've got a piece of property and a location that they're looking specifically at. But we are working specifically with a user, and, you know, as Harry mentioned, you know, there will be further steps that we go along the way to make sure that it does meet, you know, the neighborhood characteristics. And, you know, I think that either of these users that we're working with right now will be a definite, you know, plus to the community.
Yeah, but let's say a particular church, I know, for example, Christian churches usually like to have the buildings built in the form of a cross, and other denominations like their buildings look a different way. So, let's say so are you somewhat limiting the available, the potential tenants of your building by building in a certain way that it would limit certain denominations that it would not necessarily appeal to?
Yeah, I don't believe that it would be appropriate for us to try and limit what the denomination would be.
No, I wasn't suggesting that, I was just saying that you build a church, and there's churches of churches, so you built this church, and this denomination says, I'd like to be there, but I don't like the way you look at the looks, I'd like you to do something else, and then you be back again.
Well, that's the reason, you know, as I said, it's difficult for them to go out and raise, you know, the funds that they need in order to make the project happen without knowing that there's a site available. So it's important that, you know, that we can say, yes, you can build a church right here. And obviously, you know, staff, I don't know what level it goes to, but we know that we have to meet the neighborhood characteristics, and we're not looking to put a blight on the neighborhood. We're not looking to put an empty building in the neighborhood. You know, we're looking to be a positive, you know, contributor to the neighborhood. We own the property directly behind it. So it's not, you know, a case that, you know, that we're trying to do something detrimental to our own property or the neighbor's property.
But you're working with you'll be working with the occupant to put up a building that is acceptable to them and to the neighborhood.
Correct.
And if I'm not mistaken here, it's not to say that if, for example, someone wanted to put a cross on this building, if they wanted to put a cross on this building, they had to come back to us to get approval for that as a conditional use, right? To make the height higher than the required